week. Hello there.
Oops.
It didn't get turned back on. I woke up slightly afternoon.
Good thing you have all those unused work hours. I think they can forgive you after all the hours that you put in last week, too. I need my tablet. Whoa, 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 whoa. I had a Remy, but she got squirmy. Got dark all of a sudden. My tablet did. If I had thought the room got dark all of a sudden, I would be concerned. It's like, oh my god, what's wrong with my eyes?
Either you're looking at a bright spot, or there was darker.
Or I'm going blind. Alright, APR hasn't seen me yet. So I'm gonna go pour myself some Mountain Don't. Oof. APR still has not seen me. But there is someone out there watching, so hello.
Yes.
You in particular. And the future tubes and anyone else that Twitch might not be aware is watching. I am Mark Amsry, DJ Amstrack, and I'm holding court here on the Throne of Games. That's Daniel, he's working. So, brain, put the words together correctly. Shadowrun Dragonfall. It was going like Shadow Quest Dragonflight or something like that.
Shadow Fun Dragons, y'all.
Shadow Fun Dragons, y'all. There we go. Hey.
We are in the dark. Good, bad, and we got a security deck.
The brain fog is strong with me right now.
Brain frog? Oh,
Brain...
man, I need to stop that dispenser.
No, fog.
Okay.
Brain fog.
Beep.
I am all kinds of bleary. I feel okay otherwise, but... expect me to misread a lot in my narration today. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll read fine. Anyway, last time, we defeated, okay, so we went into the manor place, Harfeld Manor, and confronted Adrian Vauclair, convinced him that he was wrong, but then his zealot of a lieutenant came in and killed him because he had changed his mind and proceeded according to plan anyway. But we stopped him. We spoke directly with Feuerschwinge, learned why she had gone berserk when she awoke, and it kind of made sense.
Yeah, Human Zone is it's a fair name for concrete, really.
Yeah. And so, I like astrally connected with her. She got a lot more lucid after that. And yeah. So she is apparently a very important part of protecting the Earth through each cycle, or at least at the change of each cycle. But anyway, I thought yesterday ran long because I did that, returned to Kreuzbazaar, and I figured, okay, this is just a talk with everyone, and then credits roll, kind of like Earthbound writ small, a bit. And it seems like there's more. I'm going to feel very silly if the spoke with Altug Bargazi. He offered to become our new fixer, and he seems like a cool guy, so I accepted. He has treated us well thus far. And he said that he had a client already ready to meet us in Brandenburger Tor. I'm a little worried, since I think that's where the lodge guy sent us. But ultimately, I'm just going to feel very silly if that was the setup to take me to the credits. And I'll have to find something else to continue streaming.
Also, Apex is mad.
Oh yeah, also Apex is mad at us because we didn't give it Feuerschwinge. And can you blame me?
It unfortunately means our protagonist isn't going to live very long, I think. Because being an AI, Apex thinks very swiftly.
Yeah.
Including, well, biological characters are sleeping.
On the bright side, though, it's not like I have a deck port or whatever it's called. I can't go into the Matrix, so...
Yeah, your character's not a decker, so it can't just eat you.
Yeah, I'm safe from direct attacks, at least.
But unfortunately, Apex is also a skilled decker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Which means it can screw with you in all sorts of manners.
Yup. Right, so let's see what awaits us in Brandenburger Tor.
You might find all your credits disappearing somehow. You might find doors locking at very inopportune times.
Did you almost say inopportune opportunities?
Somehow. Inopportunities.
Wait, really? It's gonna do this to me?
Linda.
Did the black screen thing. It usually only does that if I try and change focus while it's opening up. But I tried to Alt-Tab, which means that that's probably not what's in focus now, so, there we go. The TV is not,
Well, we're certainly still on this.
Yep. The TV is unaffected because it is not part of the screen that was being covered. So just pop the task manager up over there. Also, I need to turn on my speakers, I realized. Alright, let's try that again. And this time, I will first change overlays. Come on. Apply the custom CSS. There you go. Alright, that's more like it.
Finally you get to work for you. What the hell did I do? What fixed this?
Alright now, to Brandenburger Tor. There is someone important looking on the subway with me. And by important looking, I mean like in an NPC kind of way. Yeah, I don't mean important in like a CEO or president's kind of way. I mean like a, yeah, He looks like an NPC of some repute.
That looks like maybe...
Or maybe, actually...
Maybe a long-haired elf, or that one guy who's a dragon in disguise.
Oh, you're right! He does kind of look like,
He looks familiar.
He does look like Lofvir. In which case... Yeah.
The guy who's definitely not actually Lofvir. Yep, he works for... He doesn't work for anyone, but he works for Lofvir. I mean, he doesn't work for anyone.
Yeah. The train car is empty, except for the man in the immaculately tailored Italian suit. You notice him watching you for several minutes while the train rumbles its way towards Brandenburger Tor. Finally, he speaks. The stranger's words come out slowly in a deep, melodious tone that is easy to hear despite the noise of the train. He takes his time, accentuating each word, relishing each vowel and consonant, tasting them as if they were a delicacy. Yup, it's him. Hello. I assume that the business with Dr. Vauclair is concluded, yes? Do I know you, friend? No, but you are about to. The man inclines his head slightly in introduction. Hans Brockhaus. I represent an interested party, someone who wishes to know about your encounter with Dr. Vauclair. And how do you know about that? My employer also wishes to hear about the Lady Feuerschwinge, a fascinating creature, so unlike her brothers and sisters. It is a relief that she is now free. The dragons are not meant for captivity, the Lady Feuerschwinge least of all. She was special in this world. I am sure you would agree. Maybe, but let's face it, dragons are scary. He inclines his head, and the corner of his mouth curls into a bit of a smile. This is true, as it always has been, as is anything that meta-humanity does not understand. You look at a moth and barely perceive sentience. You glance its way, amused, as it flutters toward a bright light in a vain attempt to... what? To enter? To draw strength? To burn? It doesn't know. Its epic struggle is barely 1/100th of your lifespan. The sum total of its existence is nothing against the vast scale of your struggles, your hopes, your dreams, which it could not fathom in 1,000,000 years. Poor moth. He leans forward. You will live and die between the beats of a dragon's heart, mein Freund. What hope do you have of understanding them? No kidding. Insane dragons are even harder to understand, but I was able to get through to her, for a moment at least. Brockhaus studies your face closely. Were you? Were you indeed? I am pleased to hear it.
Yeah, her aura was freaking blinding.
Yeah. And what did you learn? That Feuerschwinge had a reason for her attack. That is true. No ancient dragon acts without reason. My Lady Feuerschwinge was a nurturer, a caregiver, rare among her kind. Where her brothers and sisters saw the world as a prize to be won, she saw it as a garden to be tended. Can you imagine? For world upon world, the great dragon Feuerschwinge brought wisdom and succor to countless souls, and she was loved for it, exalted, a goddess. When she awoke from her long slumber in 2012 and saw what the world had become, what humanity had done to the garden she had tended for great ages, she struck. Struck with rage, regret, frustration, and anguish of a mother whose children had played with fire and burned the house down, killing themselves in the blaze. She unleashed fire and death through her tears. And now she is free again, and insane, the perfect addition to the Sixth World. You seem to know a lot about dragons, Hans. Think your employer wants you telling me all this? I am sure of it. I bet you are. You may consider this conversation an employment interview for a very influential client, one who pays extraordinarily well. Now, now listen. The man removes his hands from his knees, folds them in his lap. I tell you all of this so that you have context, perspective, before I ask you this next question, Shadowrunner. If Dr. Vauclair's weapon had not required dragon fire, if it had been capable of destroying every dragon on Earth without touching a hair on meta-humanity's head, would you have used it? It's like, I don't think so. Who knows what would fill the power vacuum left behind.
The Green Fairy knows.
Yeah.
Horrors. Literally horrors.
Indeed. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Dork.
Things you do not wish to know. Well, on to the business at hand. My employer wishes to secure your team's services for a series of operations that will likely require the remainder of 2054. Sounds interesting. Who's the boss? The boss is the great dragon Lofir. He is sometimes referred to as the Golden Worm. Perhaps you have heard of him. What makes you think I'm going to make a deal with a dragon?
What do you think you're doing right now?
His eyes glint. Because you have already been working for him for some time now, Mynheer. Or did you think Green Winters found the Harfeld Manor on his own? Nice try, but I don't buy it. If Lofir knew what Vauclair was planning, he'd have handled it himself. He would he? His eyes twinkle with mirth. I shall have to share that opinion with him. I think he would be most amused. Allow me to share a truth with you, Shadowrunner. The truly powerful do nothing themselves unless they absolutely have to. Instead, they delegate. Others do the work for them, and they reap the benefits. That's capitalism.
I get a feeling Lofir likes talking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, he would find that funny.
If you doubt my words, consider the outcome of this episode. Vauclair is dead, the virus is gone, and the Lady Feuerschwinge flies free. All to my Lord Lofir's benefit, with only the tiniest of nudges to set events into motion. He didn't need to handle the matter himself. You handled it for him. I'll take your word for it. That would be wise of you. The rattle of wheel on track gives way to a shimmying screech. Gradually, the train begins to slow. He glances up at the U-Bahn map on the wall and smiles. Ah, this is my stop. Coming? Well, what do you know? This looks like my stop, too. The train comes to a halt and the doors open. Brockhaus stands, brushes off his Italian suit, and exits without another word. As you turn to follow, your eye catches an advertisement for Worm Talk above the subway car door. Brockhouse glances back at you from the platform, the light from the car reflecting yellow in his gaze. You step out into the subway and follow him up the stairs into the Berlin night, into the shadows. Berlin Newsfax contains just one report of a large-scale explosion in the countryside east of Berlin. An abandoned castle reportedly consumed in a massive fireball that shakes the countryside and leaves a crater 60 feet deep. A natural gas leak is suspected, and the location is soon cordoned off by unidentified corporate forces. This news is eclipsed when Seder Krupp announces its acquisition of Ariana Space, the last remaining arm of the European space program. The Flux State's anarchist rule remains until 2055, when joint corporate forces, acting with the support of the German government, invade the city. It's widely known that the Great Dragon Lofir is responsible for orchestrating this action. After weeks of fighting, the surviving anarchists are forced to retreat to the eastern part of the city. A truce is signed in 2060, and Berlin is again divided by a wall. The Great Dragon Dunkelzahn is elected President of the United Canadian and American States in 2057. He is promptly assassinated as he leaves an inauguration party at the Watergate Hotel while in human form. Popular opinion is that another great dragon is responsible, as only a dragon can kill a dragon, but those in the shadows hint that an act of powerful blood magic is the cause. Grainy photographs of a large winged creature crossing a full moon above the Harz Mountains circulate in Germany for several years. Conspiracy theorists take this as evidence that a new great dragon has emerged, but when no further sightings are reported, interest wanes. The name of Dr. Adrian Vauclair has since been lost to the shadows. Well, my suspicions were correct. That was just a little credits, a sequence walking me up to the credits, and nothing more. So now the question is, what to play next? Part of me wants to mix things up, but part of me has also really been enjoying this sort of game. And I don't have Shadowrun Hong Kong, so I can't do that. Hold on a sec. Okay. Choices. Let's fast forward these credits so I can get where I'm going. So I can get to browsing my collection to figure out what to play next.
Robot.
Actually, it's probably just rolling through backers at this point. So yeah, back.
What, the post-credit scene?
Nah. I think that bit was as close as I'll get to, as close as it'll give to a post-credit scene. Oh, interesting. Apparently I could play Shadowrun Returns in Shadowrun Dragonfall, which makes sense. It's the same. It's basically just a revised version of the same engine. And Dragonfall was originally just a module for Shadowrun Returns.
Ah, yes. RPG modules.
Mm-hmm.
DLC before you downloaded it. DLC, but in, like, cheaply bound paper form. I think they're usually held together with, like, 2 staples.
Alright. So let's see here. I can add to already streamed, add to beaten, remove from streaming currently. Now then. Why do I have someone on my friends list whose user icon is the ANCAP flag?
I don't know. For a second, I thought you were going to say something about, like, a bag of spinach. I was going to be like, that's me.
Well, yes, I know you're the bag of spinach.
With a frog in it.
But who's the ANCAP?
Conmigos.
And, like... Okay, that's the only name they've had. And I'm just thinking, why would I tolerate an ANCAP? 8 friends in common. Most of them from starmin.net.
I don't suppose it's upside down, is it?
It might be? I forget what order the colors are supposed to be in.
I think I switched to incognito mode and check.
Yeah.
Today I don't want that research history. Because you can't
No,
or anything,
it's
it doesn't link your
not upside down.
link your Google recommendations annoying for a while.
Okay. So I almost certainly want to make this something story-based that I go into next. I want to continue that. 'Cause like Thursday night there's story there, but there's a whole lot of fighting in between the story beats. And then 2 Point Hospital doesn't... There's kind of a story going on in the background, but it's not something I'm actively participating in. So something narrative. Something strongly narrative is what I want to go into next. And I noticed that I have The Last Remnant. I'm not sure how long that game actually is. But I remember that it looked mechanically ridiculous. You know what? I'll look that up. The Last Remnant, time to beat. Okay, so that's looking like about a, ooh. Completionist time, rushed, over 120 hours. Depending on what completionist entails, that may or may not be me. I frequently try to be a completionist, but if it's like... If it's an RPG with like a post-game challenge mode, I can leave that alone, generally. Like, what's it called? Bravely Default. I did not bother with Nemesis. I tried. I attempted some Nemesis, but that's too much for me. I did everything else, but left the Nemesis alone.
How many times?
How many times did I attempt Nemesis?
I mean, how many times did you do the...
How many times did I do everything else?
Yeah. You know, because of Bravely Default spoilers.
Right, and I did it all of the times.
Okay.
That's what I mean when I said I did everything else.
Because that game trolls you a little bit.
It does. It does. And I did not everything else at first and realized, that
ending wasn't very satisfying.
No.
I feel like something's up.
Yeah. I mean, it felt like a sequel hook, a bit, but that's not what it was. That was like there's another ending hook.
Just dangling from above.
Just...
You gotta go full trout on it. Why is it squeaking?
It's on a rusty chain? I don't know.
Oh, I figured it was on like a monofilament line.
That sounds dangerous.
That's why I said you gotta go full trout on it. Then you have to yank the fisherman into the water with you and then beat the crap out of him with your fins.
I misheard that as beat the crap out of them if you're Vince.
Ooh, that'd be tail bonus damage. Let's get those extra claws.
Bum ba-dum bum bum. Wait, what is this doing unsorted? Add to already streamed. I could play Crysis. No, I've tried playing Crysis before. It's not that my computer can't handle it. It handles it fine. But I am bad at it. Like, I died in the tutorial. Part of me wants to do Disco Elysium. That would absolutely keep the same feel as what I have been playing. But I also know that Brendan was very interested in that. So I feel like I should save that for when Early Throne Special finally resumes. Post everything. Any recommendations out there? If you want to see what I have to play, an almost up-to-date list is at backloggery.com/amsry. You can see what I have, what I have in my possession, what is not yet beaten. Of note, in anything that it would have to be anything that is PC or emulatable. Well, emulatable by this computer, which means PS2 at the most recent. At some point I'm going to have to stream Killer is Dead. But I'm not sure I feel like something is incoherent as Suda51. Incoherent isn't the right word. Something as absurd, surreal. Choices are hard. What games do I have on Twitch? Bless you. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Alright, going to install. Where was it? There we go. Install Orwell. Add to streaming currently. And once it is finished installing, I will briefly I will restart the stream to keep my archives in order and also to update the channel info with the new game information. And also, oh yeah, I should find Orwell game logo.
So do not reply. Please reply.
Game title transparent. That's not transparent. There we go. Okay. All right. I will be back in just a couple minutes.